Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Girivaran Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Manatari Yamuna Tira Manatari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanatari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौरनिताय की, श्रीनिवास बालाजी की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। We are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam this morning, 10, 13, 60. Yatra naisarga durvairaha sahasandra mrigadayaha mitrani iva ajitavasa drutarshakadikam. Yatra naisarga durvairaha sahasandra mrigadayah mitrani vajitavasa drutarshakadikam. Vrindavana is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, anger or thirst, though naturally inimical. Both human beings and fierce animals live there together in transcendental friendship. Please repeat. Vrindavana is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, anger or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live there together in transcendental friendship. Purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word vana means forest. We are afraid of the forest and do not wish to go there. But in Vrindavan, the forest animals are as good as demigods, for they have no envy. Even in this material world, in the forest, animals live together. And when they go to drink water, they do not attack anyone. Envy develops because of sense gratification. But in Vrindavan, there is no sense gratification. For the only aim is Krishna's satisfaction. Even in this material world, the animals live in Vrindavan are not envious of the sadhus who live there. The sadhus keep cows and supply milk to the tigers, saying, "Come here and take a little milk." So you may wonder, is it really true? Yeah, tigers drink milk and keep quiet. Actually, the tigers, lions are very fierce animals, but if they are tamed from their childhood, they can live like puppies, puppy dogs or pussycats. Nowadays you must have seen in YouTube many of the videos where they tame big lions, big tigers, they keep them as pets in the home. How many of you know that? You've seen that, correct, no? How they're able to do that? Because from childhood they have trained them like that. They are not inimical, they live with human beings at home also. And that's what Prabhupada is saying, they can supply milk and they may live like this. Thus, envy and malice are unknown in Vrindavan. That is the difference between Vrindavan and ordinary world. Why Prabhupada says the tigers unnecessarily don't attack other animals? The tigers and lions only attack when they are hungry. Once they have eaten, then even if they see a deer or other creature coming nearby, they will not attack unnecessarily. Because Prabhupada says, if you keep a sack of rice, every bird or a dog will eat little bit and go away. But what human being will do? He'll take the whole sack. So human being is greedy, animals are not greedy. They just take what is their quota, and beyond that they don't attack anybody. You see, thus the envy and malice are unknown in Vrindavan. That's the difference between Vrindavan and ordinary world. We are horrified to hear the name of the Vana forest, but in Vrindavan there is no such horror. Everyone there is happy by pleasing Krishna. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Prabhu. Whether a Goswami or a tiger or a ferocious animal, everyone's business is the same. What is it? To please Krishna. Even the tigers are also devotees. This is a specific qualification of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, everyone is happy. The calf is happy, the cat is happy, the dog is happy, man is happy. Everyone wants to serve Krishna in a different capacity, and thus there is no envy. One may sometimes think that the monkeys in Vrindavan are envious because they cause mischief and steal food. But in Vrindavan, we find that the monkeys are allowed to take butter, which Krishna himself distributes. Krishna personally demonstrates that everyone has the right to live. This is Vrindavana life. Why should I live and you die? No, that's material life. The inhabitants of Vrindavan think, whatever is given by Krishna, let us divide it as prasada and eat. This mentality cannot appear all of a sudden, but it will gradually develop with Krishna consciousness. By sadhana, one can come to this platform. In the material world, one may collect funds all over the world in order to distribute food freely. Yet those to whom the food is given may not even feel appreciative. The value of Krishna consciousness, however, will gradually be very much appreciated. For instance, in an article about the temple of the Hare Krishna movement in Durban, South Africa, the Durban Post reported, all the devotees here are very active in the service of Lord Krishna, and the results are obvious to see. Happiness, good health, peace of mind, and development of all good qualities. So happiness we experience in the mind, good health in the body. Again, peace also is in the mind, and also the development of all good qualities. All this is seen visibly, they are saying. This is the nature of Vrindavan. Harava abhaktasya kuto mahadgunaha. Without Krishna consciousness, happiness is impossible. One may struggle, but one cannot have happiness. We are therefore trying to give human society the opportunity for a life of happiness, good health, peace of mind, and all good qualities through God consciousness. So, and this is the topic I am speaking on today. This message will be just next 1 hour or so. But it is such a very profound message, not my message, what I heard from Prabhupada's books, that it can be a game changer, it can be a very powerful direction provider. It can even unite all world religions together under one roof. If people understand these principles given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it can actually unite a broken home. It can unite broken people. Therefore, I took this particular verse. Here he says, Chatra Naisarga Durvairaha. Naisarga means naturally inimical in this world. Like, you all are aware, just in the last week, the kind of unpleasant events that took place in Bangladesh attacks, that has caused a great disturbance across the globe. So there was a protest march yesterday by ISKCON worldwide. And what was our protest about? Allow the minorities Hindus to live peacefully. Every human being has a right to live. Every human has a right to practice their own religion and express their devotion to God in different ways. Don't try to impose your thing on others. Let others live. And God, this world belongs to not you or me. It belongs to God. And the whole world belongs to God. So, world being belonging to God, that means God has actually made this world for all His children. Every child has a right to share and live, correct, no? So, that was the message that ISKCON very respectfully passed to the leaders all over the world. The Harinam protest was very much appreciated by many leaders worldwide. They say this protest is such a good gesture on the part of ISKCON. They did it in a very decent way, not by showing chain or soda bottle or beating and breaking and humming things, but by glorifying God's name, unitedly coming together with a peaceful presentation of the holy name. So, therefore, this topic of learning to live with differences is a very important topic. Like, in this world always has disparity. There are people who are strong, there are people who are weak, people who are rich, people who are poor, people who are educated, people who are illiterate, isn't it? When there are differences, two things can happen. The weaker one can be sheltered by the stronger one, or the stronger one can exploit the weaker one. Either thing can happen, isn't it? Like you see, there are mightier and the weaker, I told you. Look at your own mouth. There are 32 teeth which are very strong, hard and strong. And there is a tongue which is very soft, isn't it? So one is strong, one is hard, one is soft. It's called as katinatvam, mridutvam. So which is mridutvam? Tongue. And what is katinatvam? The teeth. Not only that, the tongue is minority and the teeth is majority. 1 against 32. Correct, no? But still you see that the 32 teeth don't bite the tongue. And both of them are serving the belly together. Similarly, all religions should serve God together. Because God is compared to the belly. Why? Because if all the senses of the body serve the stomach, then stomach will supply all parts of the body, whatever is nourishment is needed. Similarly, those who are soft and those who are hard, whether you are 1 or you are 32, actually majority, minority, everybody has the ability to serve God in their own way, and then they will get the nourishment and the whole world can be very happy. You can see that. Although there may be differences, one may be hard, one may be soft. You will find in this world, the animal kingdom, you find there is a jivo jivasya jivanam principle. Jivo jivasya jivanam means, one animal becomes, it's like ecological cycle we say. Like the fly is eaten by a frog, frog by a snake, snake by an eagle. Like that there is a cycle. This kind of one becoming food for the other. When you come to the human kingdom also, if humans live like animals, the same law applies. Jiva jivasya jivanam. Like, one country invading the another country. What for? Simply because of looting the wealth and bossing over them, keeping control over them for their purpose. So this is actually animal kingdom. It's not human kingdom. Actually, those who are evolved humans, they actually are called the Aryans. Who are the real Aryans? Aryans are the first aspect of Aryan is they put God in the center. One Christian, one Christian asked to Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, in Bible it is said in Genesis that God has made these animals to be kept in the dominion of humans. Like that. So Prabhupada said, yes, God has made these animals to be kept in the custody of humans, not for exploitation, but for protection, he said. So humans are rakshak, not bakshak. They're supposed to protect. Like for example, we have household animals like a dog, which protects the house, cow, which gives milk, horse, which transports us, isn't it? Camels and donkeys, which carry weight. And these animals are not to be killed. They are not for killing purpose. They are actually serving the humans and they have to be protected. Like that. So human beings have actually been provided with everything they need, like the milk and the fruits and the grains and the cereals. And you will find that human being, if you take a tiger will live in the forest and eat meat, but will not eat grass. Cow will eat grass, it will never eat meat. But human want to eat both. He want to grab everything. Therefore, a rakshak becomes bakshak. He becomes exploitative. So, you will find human beings come from a human platform to animal platform of this kind of quarrel and fight and everything. And the world becomes like a place of war. Nobody can live peacefully. When one class exploits the other class. When economically superior class exploits the economically weaker class, or those who are learned exploit the illiterates, or those who are more mighty and powerful in terms of population exploit the minority, then the world becomes a very dangerous place, fearsome place for everybody to live. And that is actually animal kingdom when there is this kind of exploitation. Actually, it is Krishna's creation that in this world he has kept mutual dependence called symbiosis, we call it. Like for example, a child is newly born and the baby is so tender, it has to depend on the parents. But this kind of weak child and strong parents gives a chance for the parents to express love for the child. Then only they can lift the child, pamper the child. Imagine a child as soon as he comes out of the womb, immediately is strong like parents. I don't need anybody, he says. Then how can parents express the affection for the child? Imagine a boy is taking birth from the mother's womb. As soon as he comes out, he is a 20-year-old boy. Is there possibility of the parents to express affection? The child is dependent on the parents for milk. He has to be taken to the bathroom. He has to be bathed. And that gives chance for expressing of affection. Yeah. Not only that, when the child grows up, and the parents also grow up, parents become 70, 80. They become very frail and weak. And they depend on the son and daughter. Then the children get opportunity to express affection to parents. In this way, the weak and strong is made in this world so that whoever is stronger can express affection for the weaker, and the weaker one can receive that affection and reciprocate. So, Lord creating this disparity is not for exploitation. It's for the mutual dependence should enhance love in this world. That is actually the purpose. For example, you are going in the train or bus, you see a poor fellow, skinny fellow, very hungry, you give some food. So he is expressing gratitude and you also feel nice by being selfless. This is mundane, but this is how dharma begins on a mundane platform. Eventually you understand the real dharma is love of God. One understand. So you will see in this way the weak and strong is created in this world. Gradually, ultimately, this should lead one to the dharma of love of God eventually. So, on the other hand, the Jiva Jivasya Jivanam principle is an animal kingdom and it enters into human kingdom when humans don't follow their dharma faithfully. Then they come to animal kingdom. Like that. You will see, we are living in this world of conditions. Like, tiger or lion, they don't come to city. If they come to city, they'll be shot dead. And we don't go to forest. So everybody is given a separate area. Why? Because when the enmity is very strong, Naisarga, the word is used. Yatra? Naisarga Durvaira. For example, cat and rat, mongoose and snake, the peacock and the snake. They can't stay together. They have to be in two separate places. Like lions and humans, we don't stay. I'm telling you in general, we don't stay together. You can have you may have a dog at home, but you don't have a lion at home. In general, why? Because they have a different nature, we have a different nature. They will be afraid that we will shoot them, and we will be afraid that they will eat us. Therefore, we are kept in two different places. So, in the event of two people who are naturally inimical, they are given their own place to live. But both the places are whose property? God's property. So you live in one place, you live in one place, and you peacefully coexist. This is possible. But you will see, instead of existing in two different places, they can even exist together when there is a mutual interest. For example, you will see the cows, bulls, and other creatures. Sometimes the bird sits on their neck to pick up the ticks. And the bull or cow will never drive them away. Because they also get benefit. Because the ticks are in the neck, they are painful. When they remove the ticks, like a worms, the bird also gets the food and the cow or bull is relieved of the pain. So who gets advantage? Both get advantage. Same way, in the crocodile opens the mouth, a small bird goes inside. It sits in the tongue of the crocodile and removes the, between the teeth, there is some meat pieces. It removes it. Same with lion also. Small bird goes into lion's mouth. Now will the lion eat it? Will he eat it? Why he is not eating it? Is it small breakfast? Why lion won't eat? Because he requires that bird to remove this meat piece between the teeth. Without that help, lion feels uneasiness. Therefore, he knows that this bird is my friend or not. What do you think? He's my friend. So let me take help of my friends. So he tells the bird, you get your piece of meat to eat and I will not trouble you. You can go inside my mouth also, I will not kill you. Because there's a mutual benefit. Similarly, you will see Indians go abroad to certain countries where they work under economically very sound people who have big businesses. And Indians are those who are cheap labor in India. And they go abroad. Who benefits by that? Both are benefiting. Even in countries with two different religions, they don't attack each other. Why? Anybody know the reason? Why they don't trouble each other? Yeah, why the minorities are not hurt there? Because the common denominator is money, money, money. Money is honey. These guys get money and those guys get brainy work. That's a mutual benefit. So many of you may feel, oh really? This is the secret of life. So let people mutually benefit each other and they will never kill each other. They will live happily, you may think. But even if you mutually benefit and live whole life, for example, Indians going to America, London and Gulf, all these places if you see, financially they may become very sound, but both parties may be benefiting materially and they die without knowing the goal of life. So in the true sense, did they benefit? Even though there is no quarrel, one religion, big religion says that we will not attack you because you are benefiting us. So we will give you jobs. You take money and we take intelligence from you. So we both are benefiting. You are happy, we are happy. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Both are happy. Life goes on, but this is material. So in material platform, even though peace is established, non-quarrel platform is established, still from the ultimate goal point of view, it's a big zero. Because there is no spiritual progress by mutual sense gratification. By that. So in the nature also we see, in humans also we see, a mighty person will not exploit a weaker person, even in case he is benefiting from a weaker person. Panchatantra, there's a story. Once a rat was making noise, a lion got very disturbed. The lion caught the rat and the rat cried out and said, sir, please don't eat me. The lion said, what will I do by eating you? You will go to one corner of my belly. You are not even my breakfast. He told them. Then he said, I can crush you to powder now, but I am sparing your life because you're seeking forgiveness, he said. So he spared the life of the rat. The rat said, sir, I will surely be of help to you, he said. Lion said, you will help me? It's a good joke, he said. But surely later on, the rat helped him. How? Once when the lion was caught in a net. So rat came and, bit the net and saved the lion. Again, the lion became grateful to the rat. So the story is about gratitude, mutual gratitude. But there is another thing you will find, even in this mutual help, you will find, because it is material, you will see how the material life is thinking, how it is dirty, you will see. Another Panchatantra story says, which is once a lion was very disturbed by a rat. Another story, not this rat, another rat. So then the lion employed a cat and told him, hey, my dear cat, if you can keep the rat away, I will give you one piece of meat every day. Whatever I eat, I will give you some remnants, you can take it. So the cat agreed. The cat was living. So every day, when the rat would come out of the hole, the cat would say, meow, and the rat will run away. And the rat never made noise. And the rat was also afraid because it could not come out of the hole. It became very, very weak. It couldn't run very fast. So one of the days, the cat captured the rat. And he ate him up. And then when the lion came back, the cat told him, sir, today I ate the rat. You have no more worry, he said. And lion said, thank you. And next day onwards, the lion stopped giving him piece of meat. Can you say why? No job. There is no more, he doesn't have to, he's not going to catch. Then the cat was waiting 1 or 2 days, 3 days, no food he got. So he told the lion, sir, I've been eating the rat in order to help you to be free from disturbance. You cannot give me pension now, I am retired now. Lion said, you get lost. So this moral of the story is use and throw. Use and throw policy. He used the cat to keep the rat away. When the job was done, throw. So this is material life. In material life, as long as there is mutual benefit, people will cooperate. Prabhupada gives an example in one of his lectures. When he was traveling in the West, he saw man and woman, they connect based on superficial attraction. And Prabhupada says, when a woman sees a man is not able to give me enough money, or he is not able to satisfy me sexually, then she rejects him and goes to another partner. And the same thing man would do with women also. Prabhupada says, when he was traveling, he saw that. Prabhupada said, see, this is material life. As long as you satisfy me, we both are friends. You can't satisfy me, get lost. Use and throw policy. This is material life. So will this use and throw policy work for a long time? Therefore, mutual benefit, symbiotic relationship in material life will not last long, because a time will come when one of the parties may not be able to satisfy the other, because the greed may increase. It's only today or tomorrow they will fight. So therefore, on the material platform, true unity cannot be brought about. It's not possible. So then how can true unity be brought about in this world? How is it possible? That is only possible by elevating the human to the sublime qualities, to the spiritual platform. Like he says in Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvai Gunais Tatra Samasate Sura. So what are those sublime qualities? I have taken 4 pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Briefly I will show each of them. But before going to those 4 pastimes, many international organizations have come together to teach the people of the world from their childhood how they can, learn the art of connecting with other people of other religion in a way that will keep this world a happy home of God, with God in the center. People can actually keep this world a peaceful place, a happy place, because all of us only are living in the same place. Like, if, for example, in the entire world, the population is 8 billion population. Out of that, 2 billion is followers of Islam. Islam is 2 billion in that. In that 2 billion, that means how many percentage? 25%. In that 2 billion, 10% is in Bangladesh, 10% is in India. That means how many crores? Like Indian population is 148 crores. Indian population. In that, Muslims are about 40 crores. It will be like 30 or 40 crores. It's like that. And Bangladesh also same. Bangladesh 10 million. Sorry, not 10 million. 10% of 2 billion. India also 2 billion. So you will see, in one country, one religion is major, another religion is minor. In the other country, this minor religion is major. And this major religion is minor. You understand, no? See, there are 2 men, for example. A and B. A's son is with B. And B's son is with A. And A is, pinching that fellow's son. Who is feeling pain? The other fellow. You understand what I am saying? So, this fellow's son is here, this fellow's son is here. You pinch here, he pinches here. Who will be happy? Nobody will be happy. So therefore, the goal is, nobody should pinch anybody. So, it sometimes happens like that. That even in this world it is seen. For example, your family, husband, wife, child is living here, but then their son have to go abroad. And they have to stay, say, for example, your son has to stay with your brother's family, for example. One of you men here. So will you not expect your brother to take care of your son nicely? Correct, no? And say, his son has already finished his study, has come back to India. So your brother is requesting, you keep my son with you nicely. So will he not expect you to take care of him well? Correct, no? So both parties have expectation that you take care of my son very nicely, I will take care of your son nicely. And this is only possible to work when we follow certain norms, which I am going to show you. 4 principles of responsibility that every religious person should take for this world to be a peaceful place, so that we all can execute our duties to God and go back to God. You see, why there is difference in religion also? Because there are 4 types of religion. This is told by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his book Chaitanya Shikshamrita. Very beautifully elaborates on this. He says that in some religions, they threaten that you will go to hell if you don't align with God, and they don't have anything beyond that much to give. Then there are some religions which talk about God as an order supplier. Give us our bread, give us our food, give us our dress, give us, and those kind of things, which is actually not totally condemnable also. Why? They are superior to atheistic people. Atheistic people think everything belongs to them, foolishly. But these people at least go to God to ask God for this. Similarly, the fear is also not totally condemned. Why? Because, in the beginning of surrender is fear. When surrender is complete, it turns into love. So therefore, some amount of healthy fear should be there in people's heart, because God has made these laws. If I don't follow, I'll be punished. That fear is good in the beginning. In the same manner, the duty is actually a platform of gratitude. So we can say fear, greed, gratitude, love. We can say also like that. So that is even higher platform. The highest platform is love. So love is called Bhagavata Dharma, we call it, which teaches that it is not a material religion, it's a spiritual religion. When Prabhupada went to America, he said, you follow any religion you want. You call yourself a Christian or a Muslim or Hindu or whatever. But if your religion can lead you to love of God and love for all jivas, then your religion is first class religion, Prabhupada said, ultimately. And Prabhupada told his disciples, actually, if you don't want to give up your Christianity, you want to read Bible and develop love of God, become a better Christian, purer Christian. Don't eat meat. One of the 10 commandments says, thou shalt not kill. Another commandment says, thou shalt not covet another man's wife. It says, so follow these 10 commandments. Don't cheat yourself. Don't break the laws of God. But many of them are actually happy with the way Prabhupada taught. Prabhupada taught in a non-sectarian way, love of God. So actual love of God is applicable to all jivas. And because there are these type of 4 types of religions are there, there is a difference in the way that these religions are practiced also. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says how we should decide whom to accept and whom to reject. For example, you have an apple. It has a small black spot. So you can take a knife and remove it. Then it becomes all right. You can keep the apple, you can eat it. There is another apple which is fully rotten. What you will do? You throw it in the dustbin. You cannot eat it. And there is another apple which is not rotten, which is not having black spot. It is fully good. It's fully good. That's edible. That's the best one you will prefer. Correct, no? Similarly, whenever you find difference between you and others, there are some you may totally reject. There are some you can avoid that black spot or whatever I told you, and you can accept. This kind of thing we do. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Islam, Christianity and Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, these 3 religions, all of them accept Bhagavan or God as a Supreme Father. And all the 3 of them accept that we are His children. And we have to bow down to Him. If you see the way the Muslims bow down in namaz, we also bow down. Christians also bow down. And they admit that God is supreme and we are subordinate. And also, both in Sanatana Dharma and in Islam also, there is an impersonal understanding of God as well as personal understanding of God in both. For example, there is an explanation in Quran about Abraham, getting darshan of God. God who appeared in front of him with a effulgent body, it says, and he had eyes which were very beautiful, and he had feet which were like lotus, as soft as lotus, like that is mentioned. The words are used like Ainun or Vaj. Vaj means the face. So Ainun means the eyes. So it talks about a personality. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj recently has sent a letter to the leadership discussions. I read it. He says, in the Quran, there is a statement which says, the color of God's body is blackish, bluish black. So that is mentioned in Quran. There is a verse which says that. Similarly, Quran says, God has 100 names, 99 are revealed in Quran. And the 100th name will be revealed when they reach back to God. And you can imagine what will be that name. Correct? Isn't it? Color is already told. See, in the same manner, in Upanishads also you will find that supreme absolute truth who is, who plays on his flute, who lifts a mountain, who crushes the serpent by dancing on his head, and who is the lover of the damsels. Like that it says, but doesn't say the name. There are Upanishads which say description of God without telling his name, and they keep it mystical, mysterious. Same manner. So, therefore Maharaj had said that foolishly one should not fight, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his Chaitanya Shikshamrita, those religions which accept God, in Christianity God is called as Abba, A-B-B-A they call it. In Tamil Nadu we call it Appa, we call it. You know that? Correct, no? Appa we call it, they call Abba, they call it. Abba means what? Papa, some people call Papa. That's father. So they accept there is a father. Father is big and I am small. Jesus always talks about I and Father. So those religions which accept the Father as the greatest and ourselves as subordinate, those religions are actually Vaishnavism, he says. That means Christianity, Islam and Hinduism all are Vaishnavism. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that. And those religions which don't accept God's supremacy, they call God as Shunya, or they say I am God, or everyone is God, or God doesn't exist at all. That religion is not religion at all, he says. And then he says, so those religions should be rejected. Therefore, Prabhupada says, Nirvishesha, Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. Those religions should be eliminated. And how they also should be eliminated should be known. For example, how do you express your displeasure to those religions which deny God, or which present God as totally impersonal and yourself as God, and such kinds of people like Advaita and all. How should we express our displeasure? Not that by giving them gali or bad word or something, not by attacking them physically. This is all a height of foolishness. One example I'll tell you. What is the right method? I will tell you. In Madhva Sampradaya, there was a very, very powerful scholarly Vaishnava Acharya who came. So, in those days there used to be Patrika, well-known Patrika amongst the learned circles. So, he just gave 2 words only, Advaitam Avaidikam. That's all he wrote. This is the title of the article and the content of the article, that's all. Advaitam Avaidikam. That's all he wrote. Immediately one of the Advaita Siddhanta Acharya from Shankara Sampradaya became angry. So, he said, how can you say Advaitam Avaidikam? I want to do a vad with you. Then they both came together in the same house. So both, he gave him elevated seat. He also accepted elevated seat. They both sat and went together for almost 2 weeks. Based on all the Shastra, you present your evidences, he present his evidences. So in presenting the evidences and doing a debate, it is called as, there are 2 types of debate. One is called Vada, one is called Vitanda, we call it. Vitanda means I have already made up my mind. This is what, like for example, if somebody says, I got a, rabbit in the forest, I found the rabbit had 3 legs only, if somebody says. How many legs are there for rabbit? And you have captured the rabbit and you have kept in the bag inside. And the other person says, okay, take out the rabbit, let me see how many legs are there. No, I will not show it, but I know it, if somebody says. That means he has made up his mind that he is not going to, have any debate for the sake of learning, honestly, but he has already made up his mind that this is the only truth. That's called Vitanda, we call it. And Vada means what? I have an opinion, you have an opinion, we both come together. If I find yours as better than mine, I'll become your disciple. And if yours is better than, if mine is better than yours, you will become my disciple. And this is actually Vedic. There are many examples of many Advaitis have become Vaishnavas. There are examples, like you see Chatush Kumar as becoming Vaishnavas. You find Sukadeva Goswami becoming Vaishnava. And even in our, from Advaita Sampradaya also, people have become Vaishnavas. For example, Prabodhanand Saraswati, he was a very great sannyasi and scholar in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. When he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was so deeply touched. He wrote that famous Vrindavan Mahimamrita, he wrote that book. You will find in one of the verses, he says, Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi. Alas, alas, I didn't know Lord Chaitanya for so long. My life has become a waste. Only recently I have come to know after many, many years in my life. So he surrendered his life to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabodhananda Saraswati. So you will see that, like Sarva Bhattacharya was a great scholar. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, presented the Vedanta in a appropriate way, he surrendered. He didn't hold on to Mayavada after that. He surrendered. But do you think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or any other great scholar takes a sword in the hand and attacks? They beat him or hit him on the head or break this, break that. This is not the way you present. Therefore, every all of you will see that every religion in this world wants to expand and claim themselves to be the way to God. Correct, no? So now, is it wrong or right? You may have a question. And regarding this, Prabhupada explains very beautifully with one example. He says, in any country, there is different political parties. And why there are different political parties? Because every political party says that we can serve the nation in the best way possible. So you say you can serve best, I say I can serve best, you say he can serve best. So then all three political parties can fight, but fighting should be done in a gentlemanly way. Not that I cut your leg, you cut my hand. That's not the way you do. That means you present your, while canvassing, you present, these are the things I will do. When you give me power to rule the country. And they present, everybody presents. And ultimately one party is chosen. And then they will do it. Correct, no? So this is one example Prabhupada gives. So every religion has the right to preach through media, to preach through publishing books, to preach by sending their missionaries. They can preach, they can go out, they can do that. There's no problem. At the same time, how they should deal with other religious people, I'm going to show you 4 points. In a responsible manner, I will share that with you. How we should deal with others. Another example Prabhupada gives for different religions. Like we have Indian Air Force, Indian Army, Indian Navy. Now their uniforms are different. Navy people wear what color they wear? White and white they wear. Army people, either khaki or green they wear, correct? And Navy people, blue they wear. Navy blue we call it. What? Blue and Air Force wear sky blue. They wear sky blue. And Navy people wear white. They wear white and white. And Army people wear green or khaki. Now their dress is different. And their activities are also different. No, Air Force people fly up in the plane. They practice for that. And Army people are doing left, right, left on the ground only. Isn't it? And the Navy people go in ships. I saw huge ships where even aeroplanes can sit also. Sometimes they combine and work also sometimes. Yeah, like Air Force and Navy combine sometimes and work also. But all the three are serving the nation, ultimately. So God is one ultimately. You call him Allah, you call him Krishna, you call him Jehovah, whatever you call. There is only one supreme truth. Like sun, you call him by Dinakar, Bhaskar, Ravi, Surya, Suraj, and so many names like that. So, but all the different religions are ultimately serving him. And they should mutually respect each other. Exactly like Air Force person will respect a Navy person. Navy person will respect a Army person. They should respect for each other. And this Prabhupada gives many examples to illustrate this. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, even if you see somebody is Shunyavad or Nirvisheshvad, what you should do? You should, take a weapon to attack. That's not the way you do. Actually, you should know that either you defeat him and bring him to Vaishnavism. Because the Vaishnava path is the ultimate path, correct path. So, but if somebody is, therefore I told you there are 2 types of religions Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Religions which we can embrace and religions which should not be accepted. Like atheism or voidism, impersonalism. So those, you may say impersonalism. Even I was in impersonalism many years before coming to ISKCON. Many people are superficially impersonal. With little preaching they will easily come to a Vaishnava fold. Prabhupada says, even scientists who are atheistic, when they were going in Apollo 11, flying up, suddenly they got the news from the control room that the rocket is going to collapse now, burst now, because you have seen very soon in a few minutes. So immediately they all understood that anyway it's going to burst, our bodies are also going to burst along with that. So they all folded their palms and prayed to God very intensely, and something God did. Miraculously, the rocket didn't burst. So there Prabhupada writes, hearing this news, that even the so-called atheist scientists, they were actually praying to God when the life was in danger. Similarly, impersonalists, I have read impersonalist books before. In many of the books I have read, towards the end of the book they will say, when you are unable to control the senses, when you are unable to control the mind, when everything is going haywire, when you can't control lust, anger, greed, when all else fails, then they say, chant the holy name. And they say, why? Because one fellow called Rajamila, he also called out the holy name. He was saved from Yamapash and Bhavapash. So we can also be saved. Even they say about it. So, but they are not honest in the sense that they are thinking, I am God or things like that. So they have to be cleansed. So you defeat people by preaching, not by brutal power. You don't defeat people by by bribing with money. So that kind of loyalty and commitment you will get from such people will not be proper. If you get loyalty by brutal power or by bribing, that loyalty will not last long. It's very superficial. But if you can actually change their paradigm and give them the right paradigm and they become proper followers, then they will, like you will see in ISKCON, and those who have become devotees of Srila Prabhupada's followers, they have given their life. There are many Maharajas, sannyasis, 50 years they have served in ISKCON. They all have Western body. How did Prabhupada said, I don't have a sword and I don't have money. I'm an old man. I'm going to America. I have only one powerful weapon. What is it? Holy name and the Holy Bhagavatam. That's all. And that is real preaching. And every religion has a right to preach like that. And none of us should feel envious why somebody is distributing Bible, why somebody is distributing Quran. Why? We should not envy, because every religion has a right to propagate the philosophy. And they can propagate the philosophy, and if they are very sincere and faithful, they will get many followers also by such philosophical preaching. And therefore, 4 principles I am going to show you. This is the first one. Please, one of you read it. There's the mic. Take quick. All religious traditions, while fostering the faith and values of their own community in their children, must ensure that the values and the faith are taught and learned in ways that respect others and the otherness of others. A child that does not learn to relate to those who believe and act in different ways is ill-equipped to live in a religiously and culturally plural world. Prabhupada says, even in his times, the Hindus and Muslims had such wonderful relationship. He says that when the Hindus would go to Muslim homes, they would give them fruits. When the Muslims would come to Hindu homes, they would give them sweets. Because Muslims knew that these people are very stringent about eating habits. They will not eat anything outside so they will give them fruits. But when they would come, they would give them sweets. When Prabhupada was a small baby, he heard Allahu Allah, he heard in the morning, singing in the mosque. So he asked his mother, what is this? Mother said, oh, they are calling out Lord. She said, they had respect for each other like that. But eventually, when people became fanatical, when they became, actually in the name of, why only religion? Even in the name of science, in the name of religion, in the name of having big money, one who becomes fanatic can abuse it, misuse it, surely. Religion is not the only exception. You can misuse, as soon as, like Hitler, for example, he wanted to finish 10 million Jews. That is his own paradigm. Finally, he killed himself also. Like Hiranyakashipu, troubled everybody, finally he also died. You will see that. So, fanaticism breeds hate. And putting God in the center, truly speaking, that breeds respect for all others also. The otherness of others means, you will see, in every religion, there are, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Chaitanya Shikshamrita, that, when I go to a mosque, he says, I bow down to my God who exists in that place with a different name, with different set of rituals, with different format of offering respect to him. But I don't mind it. When I go to a church or a mosque, I salute, because they are worshipping my God only in a different way, he says. Because the customs are different. For example, some of you, from South India, when I went to IIT Bombay, and I was wearing dhoti like this. Everybody was looking up and down, because nobody in IIT wears dhoti like that. Everybody wears pant shirt. So, so in this way you will find that some are wearing Punjabi dress, some are wearing South Indian, some are wearing North Indian, East Indian, West Indian. Even foods are different, correct, no? Foods are different, dresses different. That's what we call as culture. So, that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. As you see in the picture, there are different symbols they have. All the symbols are auspicious actually. Each of the symbols, if you ask them the meaning, they will tell you. They are all broadcasting one glory of God. Each of the symbols like that. So, as much as we respect our symbol, we should also respect the other symbols also. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is teaching us how should we deal with people of different religions. In Chaitanya Shikshamrita, there is one full chapter on that. So, how many of you would want other people to respect what you are doing? Correct, no? Same way, you should not have a duty to respect others, what they are doing. Because God is great, He is called Adokshaja. What is the meaning of the word Adokshaja? One who is beyond the range of the senses. Therefore, God has the ability to receive different, multiple types of worship from different types of people and different religions. My spiritual master in his book Journey Home, he says that, even a dog knows if his Malik, his master, when he's dressed differently. Sometimes he's wearing pant shirt, sometimes wearing lungi and t-shirt or something, banyan. But the dog can recognize its master. If a dog can recognize his master, why can't human beings recognize? He's asking like that. God can come in different forms, different names. So, this is the first thing, learning to respect. Like one time I was distributing Bhagavad Gita in the train. There were a group of Muslims sitting with their, topi, all of them, they were doing namaz. So, they had just finished namaz. So, when I showed the Bhagavad Gita, they said, no, we have our Quran, he said. So, I had learned from one of my Muslim friends only, when you see Muslim, you should say, Salam Alaikum. And they will say, Alaikum Salam, they will say like that. So, I knew that before. So, when I told them this, they were so happy. So, when I said, La ilaha illallah, then they said, Muhammad Yasudallah, they said. So, they felt so happy that this person is recognizing the devotion to God that we are expressing. They did not feel bad. In the same manner, I have also seen Muslims who treat in a dignified way the Hindus also. There are people like that. So, it is very important that every religious person learns to respect the otherness of the other religions. That's very important. This is a very first principle. This is the second principle, ready?
Second, religious traditions need to make a conscious effort in their teaching practices to uphold those religious and cultural values of their tradition that promote openness, honesty, and a compassionate attitude towards other human beings. These values need to be encouraged in children from a very early age.
See, certain things, in early age, our mind is like a wet cement. If you stand with your boots on a wet cement, what happens? It forms impressions. Later on, you put water, it will always stagnate there. Correct, no? Similarly, at early age, the teachers and the parents, they make a tremendous impact in our attitudes. So, for example, if a child sees that my teacher's attitude is one of compassion towards other religions, other people, then the children pick up that. Now, for example, we have Gurukulas where children go. Muslims have madrasas. Similarly, Christians also have schools, convent schools. So, the teachers, first of all, the teachers have to be educated, to be more broad. If a teacher is a fanatical teacher, they say, we should live and others should perish. That kind of thing they preach. And the children catch the same thing. When they grow up, basically, the instigators instigate the child and leave. Just like you give key to your car, chirp, 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 leave the car, car goes. Car doesn't go by itself. How does it go? Because you are given key. Similarly, parents and teachers give the key to the children when they are small. So, what kind of key you give? Do you give the key for compassion or key for aggression? If you give aggressive key in the young age, when these guys grow up, then they become aggressive later on. Therefore, according to law in any country, the instigator also gets punishment. One who instigates a person to do a murder, when they find out the person, then he will get a solid punishment also. So therefore, the religious teachers and parents and all, they should not become instigators of aggression. Rather, they should become teachers of compassion. They should teach an attitude of compassion. Like I have seen in my training also to the devotees, like, one devotee said, Prabhu, this boy was preached by me and he came and, instead of helping me, he wanted to go and help him, Prabhuji, he said. Then I told him, what difference it makes, Prabhu? He helps you or helps him. Ultimately, he's helping Prabhupada movement. Because he likes that preacher very much, he wants to go. If you forcibly keep him with you, I told him, he will be very morose. And tomorrow he will always be sending out grievance signal against you. And that be good? Will not be good. On the other hand, if you allow him to preach with that preacher, he will always be grateful to you. And even there, he will be talking your glories. Then he thought about it and said, yes, Prabhuji, thank you, Prabhu. I am happy now. See, in just one moment, 1 minute, he changed. Therefore, the teacher's role is very, very important. What the teachers teach. In 1 moment, people's paradigm can change. Because people love their teachers. And people are love for the teacher. If the teacher says, you should not do this, you should do this, they will do it. So therefore, we have to teach the compassionate attitude towards other humans. Like, for example, Brahmachari Grihastha. So we have two different cultures. If you see, for example, Grihastha Ashrama has their own set of rules, regulations and everything, lifestyle, their challenges and everything. Brahmacharis have their own, like this. Now, Kanishta Adhikari community means Brahmacharis say, Grihasthas are in Maya, Brahmachari is liberated. And Grihasthas will say, Brahmacharis are good for nothing, useless fellows. They are just dancing and singing and eating prasad. And we are the real one who are donating. Correct, no? So this is what community? Neophyte, Kanishta community. And Madhyama community means actually the respecting the otherness of the others. And secondly, having a compassionate attitude towards another. That's just the second one. Third one?
Third, while recognizing that religious traditions are different from one another, we also need to look for commonalities and overlapping values that could provide the basis for people to act together on common concerns. We need to teach and practice our faith in ways that demonstrate our common humanity and interdependence.
Yeah. Once I asked my spiritual master that, how is it that sometimes people have diametrically opposite natures compared to you, but you become their best friend? When did I ask this question? One time we happened to be in Govardhanaka village, Vada. His Grace Jananivas Prabhu was giving a lecture. So one Brahmachari asked about counseling. Jananivas Prabhu said, why do you need a counselor? Paramatma is there in your heart. He said, he is your counselor, Paramatma counselor. As he said. But that Brahmachari was somehow not satisfied. He said, but Paramatma is not very easily approachable, Prabhu. I think we all need some senior devotee. He said, that's all emotional, not required. He said, just you surrender to God. He will take care of it. Krishna says, Maharshi, don't fear. Why are you fearing? He said. So later on, I met my spiritual master in the afternoon and I asked him that I heard, this is what I heard from Jananivas Prabhu. But Maharaj, you are like father of counseling, You started counseling. How is it that you both are best of friends? So he gave a big smile and said, if you would like to know, I will tell you the truth, he said. And then he said, if you take a bowl with black balls and white balls, he said the black balls show the differences and the white balls show commonality. And then he said, when I meet a friend, gradually I come to know, what are our commonalities and what are our differences. So as soon as I know the differences, I throw those black balls out one by one. Keep throwing away. And what remains? White balls. So I only connect with others on common platform. I don't bring the differences unnecessarily. I respect the differences because Krishna is inspiring him in that way. Krishna is inspiring me in a different way. So by seeing commonality, we can have long-lasting friendships. Same with husband-wife also. For example, husband is not yet chanting one round also, but wife is a 16-hour devotee. But sometimes my husband says that, you have to watch TV with me, if he compels. Then she says, then you have to chant with me. Then both are in trouble. Who is in trouble? Both are in trouble. So that's what a husband did. He said, you have to watch TV with me. When she said, I have brought one more bead bag for you, he ran away. He said, you chant Hare Krishna and I will watch TV. So you will find, therefore, all of us have a unique situation and you see the commonality and you don't see the differences. So in the same manner, in religions also I told you, we bow down to Lord and Muslims also bow down. Correct now. We do 3 Gayatris a day, they do 5 Namaz a day. Correct now. These are commonalities we can see like that. Correct now? You can see like there are many things similar to that. That way, there is one book called as One God. This was Krishna who prepared it in those days. There are hundreds of commonalities. You will be pleasantly shocked and surprised. Many religions have truths. Like in Quran, there is a talk about 8.4 million species also. There is a talk. In Bible, there is a talk about Noah and the ark. It is same pastime as Matsyavatara pastime. Same pastime. Similarly, our Puranas talk about Havyavati and Havyavati is the Eve. Havyavati has become Eve there. Similarly, one Manu and Shraddha, after one Pralaya was over when they were born, similar pastime is there, like in the Bible, you find. So you can draw so many similarities between the religions. That itself is in and of itself a very big subject. But if we don't know, at least we can be sure. Like there is a group of Muslims called Ismailis who worship Krishna also. There are Sufis. I had shown in one of my videos before how they sing Govindam Adi Purusham. I had shown. So the more you research, therefore every religion has got two aspects, and there is exoteric aspect and esoteric aspect. Exoteric means superficial. Esoteric means fine, subtle platform, the Bhagavata dharma platform. So when religionists go to the esoteric platform, they all unite without any clash. Because in that platform, they all come to the correct understanding of the ecstatic love, prema for God. Every religion will take one to that point. Even in Christians, you will find Benedictine monks, Seventh-day Adventists, Franciscan friars. None of these people break any of the four relative principles. Like we follow four regs, they also follow these four regs. You will see that. Because the finer you become in religion, then love of God becomes the religion, language. And they have no clash. The clash is where? In the exoteric level, when people emphasize the superficials. We are great, you are small, we are big population, you are small population, all these things like that. So therefore, we should look for commonalities.
Fourth, today we also emphasize the concept of inter-religious education, learning not in isolation but in relation to one another. Children need to know and appreciate not only their own faith, but also have an informed understanding of what others believe and the commonalities we share, both as a human community and in relation to particular challenges.
Yeah, what is interreligious education? You will find not only there are large-scale religions like Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism and Buddhism and all that. Even within Sanatana Dharma, there are many. There is Advaitam, Dvaitam, Visishta Advaitam, Dvaita Advaitam, Shuddha Advaitam. There are so many like that. So, how do we see the different categories of people? Therefore, there is a Shankara Mat, there is a Madhva Mat, there is a Ramanuja Mat, and now we have ISKCON followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also there is Gaudiya Mat, then there is also ISKCON, correct, no? And in ISKCON also there is HKM, Hare Krishna movement, and ISKCON also separate. Similarly, Gaudiya Mat, there are 64 matas. So, as you go, then there are multiple divisions. So, therefore, this fourth point is very important. Like whenever children go to the school, they may come across Muslim children, or Christian children, or Gaudiya Mat children, or Sri Vaishnava children. How should they treat? Like when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will see two examples we can give. One is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you see, when he met Venkata Bhatta, he asked a question, why does Lakshmi want to enter the rasa dance of Krishna? Why is she not happy and satisfied with Narayana? Like that he asked a question, jokingly. See, this is the platform of debate amongst the great souls. And Venkata Bhatta said, my dear Lord, in front of you, how can I argue? You are all knowing. You please tell me the answer to this question. Later on he explained about Krishna's opulences and 64 qualities and all those things. Finally, Mahaprabhu told Venkata Bhatta, in Tattva, Bhagavan, when you say Bhagavan Purushottama is only one. Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Mananta Rupam, we say. So, Krishna, Narayana, Rama, they are one person only. They are doing triple acting. If anybody thinks Krishna and Narayana are different, Mahaprabhu used a very strong word. There is a partiality. He is condemning it. In Tattva, they are not different. But in Leela, they are different. Krishna's mood is, Madhurya. And Narayana's mood is Aishwarya. That's all. So you are worshipping Narayana in your home very nicely. You continue worshipping. It's very nice. He encouraged him. So Mahaprabhu, and you will find 4 months Mahaprabhu stayed and talked to him. And his Venkata Bhatta's son Gopal, he became a Gopal Bhatta Goswami later on, became Chaitanya's follower. And parents very happily blessed their son to go and join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You will see that. See, this is the way we have to learn to live even with differences, you will find. Another example of difference we find is Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhauma Acharya. They had a very thick, affectionate relationship. They were brother-in-laws. So, Bhattacharya is a very big Mayavadi and Gopinath is a pure Vaishnava. So, Mayavadi Vaishnava is like, water and fire they're coming together, isn't it? Like Narayana Jwara and Shiva Jwara coming. Shiva Jwara is hot and Narayana Jwara is cold. So, Gopinath Acharya could not tolerate Bhattacharya saying that I am going to teach Vedanta to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, who you will teach him? He is Supreme Lord, what are you going to teach him? We had a big argument. Bhattacharya laughed and said, why are you becoming heated up like this? We are just having a debate. He was telling. So in this way, they both in their arguments, Gopinath Acharya said, you have not attained even a trace of mercy of the Supreme Lord. So like that he said. Then Bhattacharya asked him, if you say you have attained the mercy of the Lord, what is the proof? Then he said, if one has attained the mercy of the Lord, with full conviction he will accept the lotus feet of the Lord in his heart, he said. And that kind of accepting lotus feet of the Lord happened for Bhattacharya eventually, when he associated with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should learn from those kind of interfaith dialogues between Bhattacharya and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and or Venkata Bhatta and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should learn. So therefore, the interreligious education means we should learn to. Unfortunately, what happens? Every religious people are in their own temples and churches and mosques. There is not much interaction. So sometimes when you go in a train, you see person of the another order. You find a Christian or a Muslim. People feel uneasy for each other because there has not been interaction. Correct now. So generally, when I go abroad, sometimes a Christian sees me, he will say, so how do I address you? One person asked me in America. And I said, they call me Prabhuji. I said, and what's your full name? Yes, Radheshyam. So Radheshyam Prabhuji, Namaste. Like that. I said, we don't say Namaste, we say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. They're ready for it. Many of the foreigners, when they come to our temples to visit, therefore they make visits. There is a course called Bachelor of Divinity for the Christians. It's a 3 years course. So I was in Kunjibari temple. A group of 40 Christians had come to attend. We had a 2-3 hour program for them. They study different religions. They also understand what are the commonalities, what are the differences, what should we not unnecessarily touch, which will agitate, and what are the commonalities. So then we will learn to respect each other. So now the next 4 slides, to save time, I have already given the solution up so quickly. Otherwise, I was planning to keep it secret and ask all of you questions. It will take time. See, Sati wanted to go for her father's sacrifice, Vajpayee Yajna. Was Shiva happy with that? No, he was not happy. He actually told her that, see, your father doesn't like me. He's envious of me in a public assembly. He insulted me. And he has not sent invitation to us. Therefore, we should not go. She said, what are you saying? I am his daughter, therefore he didn't send invitation. Because if amongst relatives, sending an invitation is a sign of insult. Correct, no? For example, if somebody is your own relative, will you send an invitation to them? You will say, you are like a host, you should come and participate. So Shiva said, that is all right. But our relationship has been not good with him. So, I feel by going there, we will only be humiliated. It is not proper. Then she asked him, that means you say, I should not go? He said, I didn't say that. He said, I didn't say that. I am just telling you what's likely to happen. Then she understood that he doesn't want to come. Then she asked, can I go? She asked. Because I am seeing all the aeroplanes flying, all the demigods are all going, all the demigoddesses are wearing nice ornaments, beautiful dresses. Generally, in marriages and all, why people like to go? Because they want to wear the best dress and best type of ornaments and go and stand like this. They give darshan to everybody. Sometimes some people, even in South India, I have heard that some people borrow necklace from others also. They put necklace and stand like this. There's a desire. So she said, you see, you are a Babaji type of person. You stay under a tree and you do meditation and all. I am not like you. I am after all a woman. I have to go for such social functions, meet the people and all. You see, So Shiva said, whatever you wish you may do. Then she looked at Shiva as if she is going to burn him. She was very upset. She had tears in her eyes. Finally, she decided to go. So, then immediately all the Anuchar of Shiva and Parvati, they were wondering, because we should take whose side? Should we stay with Shiva and not go with her, or go with her? They are looking here, looking there. This is what happens when children see difference between mother and father, they get confused because they love whom? Both. It's a big problem for them, you see. So, finally they understood that Shiva loves Sati very much and he will want to see her protected. Therefore, they gave a Nandi, and then she was put on a Nandi, they make the palanquin, they gave everything, the parrot in her hand and everything, they all went with her also. So, Lord Shiva had a difference with Sati, but how did Shiva preserve his relationship with her? How he preserved? This is the answer. By allowing person. Because some people will not learn by any amount of preaching. Laptop kabut? Yeah. Unless they get experience. Prabhupada gives another example. One boy wanted to put his finger in the moving fan, but his father was refusing. But uncle said, stop the fan. When the fan is moving very slow, allow him to put the finger. And the father precisely did that. And the slowly moving fan, it hit the finger. Ah, the boy said. And the boy understood. Henceforth, I will never put my finger. He learned by experience. Yeah. So then the boy's love for the father increased. Even with a slow moving fan, I am feeling so pain. Imagine if it was moving fast, my finger would be gone. So he understood that. So this is one way, whenever we have differences with others, we can deal with. Another one, here is Diti and Kashyapa. Diti was actually comparing herself with her co-wives. One day, evening time, sunlight, twilight time, she told her husband that, see, for other wives, Aditi, you have given so many demigod sons. And myself, you have rejected me. You have not paid attention to me, and I have no sons at all. What kind of equality is this? How can a husband be like this? So husband said, no. I am not partial. I will see to it that you will also get children. So, but then it was evening time. She said that now we should unite and I want children as soon as possible. He said at twilight time, Lord Shiva goes on the Nandi bull along with Parvati, and he carries ghosts and spirits and hobgoblins with him. If we unite now, he will throw a ghost into your womb and you will get a ghostly child. And why does Lord Shiva does it? Because a man and woman should not unite during the day. Only in the night they should unite. There is a proper etiquette given in the Shastra. But if they unite in the day, then Lord Shiva will throw a ghostly child, ghost. But by doing so, Shiva does two things. The ghost is given a human form of life. So it is a gift for the ghost. Correct, no? He gets a human body. But for the family who has become a child, goes, my Lord, he will create a havoc at home. Therefore, some parents say in India that, I think a ghost has become my child. They say sometimes. Because children do, they create a lot of trouble at home sometimes. So, in this way, when she was adamantly asking, so Kashyapa could not refuse. He united with her in the twilight time, and two dangerous fellows were born to her. Who are they? Yeah, correct, no? You see that. So, that is one pastime which happens. But there is another pastime which is Diti and Kashyapa. When this Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were killed, by whom? Hiranyaksha was killed by Paradeva. And Hiranyakashipu was killed by? Did Indra kill them? But she became envious of Indra. Just see, why she became envious? Because she can't become envious of Vishnu. Sometimes somebody, say X and Y, two devotees have a problem. And X goes and complains to spiritual master. And spiritual master gives some punishment to Y. Then Y becomes angry on whom? X only. Not on the spiritual, because you can't become angry on Guru. Correct, no? Similarly, she can't become angry on Vishnu. So she became angry. And this Indra prayed, Indra's mother prayed that, the Hiranyakashipu should be killed. Therefore, Lord came as avatars and killed them. So she developed vengeance towards Indra. Correct, no? So at that time, she very nicely served Kashyapa. She was very humble, very timid, very polite. She was always smiling, looking at him with sidelong glances. Even before he wanted anything, she fulfilled his expectations. And husband became sold out. He said, oh, my dear wife, you are serving me so well. Whatever you ask, I will give you. She said, now you come, I'll tell you what I want. She said, you have to give me a son who will kill Indra, she said. And the husband was very sad. Alas, I have become henpecked husband on her pretense to be a very wonderful wife. Now what will I do? So here there's a difference in opinion. He doesn't want to give a son who will kill Indra, but she wants a son who will kill Indra. Here is difference. Now how can such a husband and wife stay together? So what he did, he was very smart. He understood that there is only one path which can destroy revengeful attitude, envy, malice in our heart. What is that path? Bhakti, devotion service. So therefore he gave her one method called as Pumsavana Vrata. Correct, no? So this Pumsana Varta has a big number of rules, 40-50 rules are there. All devotional service rules. You have to worship Lakshmi Narayan. You should rise early in the morning, you should chant some names, and so many things you should do, you should not do, and all those things. He told her, if you do this entire process for so many number of weeks, if you do it, at the end of which you will get a son who will kill Indra, don't worry. But if you commit any mistake in this vrata, then you will not be able to achieve the result. She said, faithfully I'll follow it. Of course, she followed it. While following it, two things happened. One is she got purified, because of the devotion service process. And also she was neglectful in following one rule. She ate prasadam, she was very weak because of vratas. So one day she slept without washing the mouth. At that time, Indra went into her yoni, and then instead of 49 maruts being born, how many were born? 50 were born, including Indra also. He also took birth. That's a very long pastime. I'm not telling you. You can read in the Bhagavatam. So the point is, she became free from envy by adopting the Bhakti Yoga procedure. So how did Kashyapa Rishi deal with difference with the wife? What did he do? Engage. I will tell you a true story. I'll tell you. In one of the cities, one husband and wife are living with two children. Wonderful family. Both initiated, and children are also wonderful devotees. But the man's parents wanted to come to the city because they were very elderly. But the father had all habits. He would eat tobacco, he would watch TV, he would read newspaper. He had all kinds of habits. When he came to the home, his wife became very worried. See, your father wants a TV, now you're going to bring a TV for him. He'll be chewing tobacco. He's reading newspaper. Our children will get spoiled. So then what is the solution to this? Somebody may solution is keep father and mother in another part of the city. Nowadays people do that. You parents are here and the son and his wife, daughter-in-law is here. They are here. Like that they do. Sometimes in the same building also they live in two separate homes. But some parents are not happy with that. Father said, I want to live with you only. With son only I want to live. I am quite elderly. So what to do? So the good thing that happened is they did a weekly program in their house. And then the father and mother also took part in that. They were little pious. And then all tobacco went away. Newspaper went away. And TV was sold out. Then the home became a happy home after that. So we have to find out how to resolve the differences in this way by introducing devotional service. And this is another pastime. Draupadi and Bhima were one day. Of course, here Krishna is sitting. At that time, Krishna was not in the forest at that time. The Pandavas were in forest. At that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj was lying on the ground in the bank of a river and hearing the chirping of the birds and flowing of the water in the river, holy river. And the sages were chanting Vedic mantras. He was very happy. Who? Yudhishthira Maharaj. But Draupadi and Bhima were seething with anger. Bhima was getting fire sparks in his ears. She was telling, what is this? This fellow is supposed to be ruling the world as a king. But he is lying on the ground. He has no feeling of wanting to retaliate back to the Kauravas. And Yudhishthira overheard it. He called both of them and told, dear Draupadi, dear Bhima, never become a victim of anger. Anger is one letter short of danger, isn't it? And he told them, we have lost the kingdom now. 12 years, our dharma is to be in the forest. And it is ordained by Supreme Lord for us. We should follow that faithfully. During this time, take advantage of the association of saintly sages in the forest. Live happily. Why are you burning with envy? It is useless. He preached to them. So he elevated his subordinates spiritually by that preaching, and both of them agreed after that. They became quiet after that. By preaching, he did that. And this is Indra stealing the horse from the sacrificial arena of Prithu. And Prithu initially got very angry. He could only do 99 yajnas. And he couldn't do the 100th yajna. Why Indra was scared? Because Indra was scared that if he does 100 yajna, he'll become equal to me. He may take over my post. That was his fear. So he was stealing the horse. At that time, Prithu Maharaj took the bow and arrow to kill Indra. But Brahma came down and said, please don't do this. You are the earthly king and he is a heavenly king. Earth and heaven have a relationship also. So you people do the yajna and they shower rains and give you all those things. So please forgive him. And then he agreed to forgive. Look at the picture here. Lord Vishnu has come with Indra, and Indra is falling at the feet, and Prithu is not even allowing him to fall on the ground. He is immediately embracing him and lifting him up and embracing him. You see that? So he did three things. He forgave, he forgot, and he became friendly. There was a strong difference between Prithu and Indra. Indra was envious and Prithu was angry. They both were unhappy with each other's actions. Indra was angry that he is trying to complete 100 yajnas, and Prithu was upset that he is stealing my horse. Although there was difference, by being obedient to the superiors like Brahma and Vishnu, and by cultivating quality of forgiveness, and willing to give up malice, and acting maturely in a friendly manner. So, I rushed through these 4 pastimes towards the end because it's time up already, it's pretty late. But I tried to cover too many things today in a short time. But this is the main theme, learning to live with differences. So I would request you to contemplate on these 4 pastimes more. Last one I told you is Prithu and Indra. One before that I told you is Diti and Kashyapa. Pandavas. So, and Prithu and Indra I told you, forgive, forget and be friendly. And the Pandavas, example is, elevate your subordinates by preaching to them in a loving and compassionate way. Okay. And Diti and Kashyapa, engage them in bhakti and remove the malice. Correct? Yeah. And then one before that, Shiva Parvati, all of personal experience. So, all these 4 things for us to do, we have to be spiritually advanced. Then only we can do this. Then even in differences, we can coexist. It's possible. Similarly, all the religions can coexist in this world. It's possible. Everybody can preach. There is no problem. You study and preach, and philosophically you can have debates, and you can expand as much as you can. And therefore, Dr. Larry Shin, in one of his articles, Sachudas Maharaj writes, he said, any religious organization will continue to exist for centuries or thousands of years to come, depending on how faithfully the followers follow the founder's teachings. Very faithfully and with integrity. They faithfully follow it. And that will be a long-lasting religion. But otherwise, people practice it superficially, they get diluted, they get diverted and distracted, and they will get deviated. Those things will happen. So all of us, we are all followers of Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada actually transformed the whole world by distributing the holy name. So we should faithfully follow this. And we may say that some other religion is brutal force and all these things. The government is taking action. Leaders are taking action. They have already found out the culprits. They will take due action. There's a Shastra and there's a Shastra. Those who don't follow these sublime teachings, what I am telling in the Shastra, what do they need? They need Shastra. And Shastra will be administered by the leaders of the countries, the police force, the army force, and the leaders of the nation. They will administer. That's not our job. Our job is to protest through Harinam and then present this is our request to them, and they will do the needful. From our side, we should learn these principles and we should live by them to become a true religious follower, a true God's follower, like Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.